lucky to me.
They tried to kill Trump again.
No, they didn't.
Yes, according to the reports. Okay, so this one is so...
I know B613 when I see it.
All right, Livia.
Okay, command said go, and that's what that was.
The story of this one just sounds so crazy. So apparently he was like 500 yards away from Trump, which is for his particular gun that they said he had.
They said they saw his rifle through a bush.
Yeah, so they said the Secret Service saw... This is what I don't understand. Okay, so the nigga's name was Ryan Routh or whatever. They said he's Ukraine. I got a little video we can play in a little bit. This is what I don't understand, okay? So the nigga sees him with the gun and he just takes off and runs? Why don't you shoot this nigga? That might give you more time to run.
Because
it wasn't like he was in a fence. They said he was behind a bush.
Don't take my words very seriously, but like if I'm trying to kill a president, right? Not that I'm trying to, but if I was, let's say hypothetically, I feel like I probably know that it's only gonna end up two ways: dead or in jail. If I'm gonna end up either of those things, I'm gonna take the shot. Why wouldn't you take the shot?
But I mean, I'm just talking about why didn't I just take it at the FBI guy? I mean, the Secret Service guy, and just
take anything at this point.
Because he was at that point
gonna be dead or in jail.
He was still able to get away for a little bit until they arrested him later on. Like they found him because they said he took off. The dude said he saw him with the gun. He tried to go over there and address it. The dude took off and ran, got to his vehicle or whatever, and they had to find him. It took him a little bit to find him.
Wasn't this also a spontaneous golf trip?
Yeah. That was another crazy part of it. That the fact that this was not on his trajectory, his itinerary or anything. This was something he chose to do last minute.
Yeah.
So you either got to have somebody who's inside that's planning to try to take him out, like inside his own camp, or this individual had the right time, right place, and just saw the opportunity.
Like you just happen to be someone who wants to kill Trump with a gun and saw Trump.
And according to some information I saw,
that just seems like too perfect of a scenario.
According to some information I saw, they said that he did vote for Trump in like 2016, and he had some posts to Trump, but he wasn't like voted, like he wasn't a known like Republican or Democrat. So both of the
people who tried to assassinate Trump had voted for him previously? Did the last guy?
No, the other dude wasn't old enough to vote yet.
Okay.
He was like 20. But I heard something crazy about that. I'm still trying to find some more legitimate sources about it. They said that they cremated that dude's body before somebody within the government got to be able to investigate it and check it. So
what would they need to check his body for?
They just investigate more investigations. Just people want to make sure what's going on in the autopsy. Did he have any different signs? Was there anything in his blood? Just people wanted to run tests. They said they ended up cremating his body like 10 days after everything happened.
Well, we don't know what the standard procedure is for that.
But they said that there was an
autopsy is supposed to happen.
They said it was a senator that asked to look over the information, and apparently they were saying that they looked over his request and incinerated the body before he could have his request met. Because when they have somebody does something for the president,
B613, bro.
They go.
I'm literally not kidding. This is B613.
They just go over all that. Like when it's a president's murder and all that stuff, like you have access to a lot of that stuff for a while because people want to see what's going on. People want to test certain things.
I would think that you wouldn't cremate the body that fast.
I'm surprised they would even give any kind of credence, any kind of clearance to do that, to get rid of the body in any kind of capacity.
That person was big fired.
And then this guy, the Ryan Routh guy, he got arrested. So they end up taking him in. And so let me just play this little thing. And I want to say, I don't know if everything, I wasn't able to verify everything in this video.
Yeah.
They did have little articles.
The internet be having just random shit on there.
She had articles, but anybody can just fake like they have an article and
all roads to the Trump assassinations
put highlighter on it.
Thing alone. So we see some similarities between the shooters. Both were donors to ACT Blue, a PAC for the Democrat Party. Both managed to get within 500 yards of Trump. Both attempts were followed by the mainstream media kind of oddly downplaying the severity of the situations. And most importantly, Crooks was in a 2023 BlackRock commercial, and Routh was in a 2022 commercial for the Ukrainian militia that had been trained by the American CIA for the past decade and is funded by BlackRock. Here's the explanation. So for context, Ryan Routh was a construction worker in North Carolina that moved to Hawaii, has a house and a business there that wasn't making any money, so he was listed as unemployed. But he really cared about standing for Ukraine, so this former construction worker with no income, operating entirely alone, ran a website offering Americans $1,200 a month to fight for Ukraine, was illegally moving Afghani soldiers fleeing from the Taliban in Pakistan and Iran to fight for Ukraine, dropped everything for months at a time to fly himself to Ukraine, and flew to DC to lobby for Congress to recruit soldiers for Ukraine. He also has about 100 criminal filings, including a 2002 arrest for possessing a weapon of mass destruction, as most construction workers do, and he obviously still has weapons, and not only is he still allowed to vote, but to vote in North Carolina as recently as this year, even though he's a resident of Hawaii. And like most construction workers,
she ends up going on for a little bit more.
Yeah, she seemed like she was going to keep going.
Yeah, she basically makes this nigga look like he a spy for real. Yeah. But like, okay, so if we're going to get into this conspiracy of them being any kind of like agent or, you know, somebody having, you know, tapping them on the shoulder to do this, why do they pick the like most inspiring looking niggas in the world to do this shit? Because these niggas
worst shots.
And thank you. Like clearly these niggas not trying to pull the trigger.
Maybe they did that on purpose.
What that could be the other thing. What they just keep trying to. That's what it feels like too.
These are supposed to be attempts that are supposed to rile more support for Trump, because he went somewhere saying that only viable candidates try to get assassinated. Like people only try to assassinate the good candidates.
Well, it just seems like the first one would be too much of a risk to put up for the guy to be able to actually put out shots to do. That just seems like too much of a risk at any point. And then
there were civilians that died the first time too. This was a public servant, a firefighter too. Like those optics are not good.
But the second one, this one feels like, oh, we needed y'all to remember this happened. So let's just
yeah, because we all thought the first one was a joke. We all turned it into a joke. Freedom, fight. Like, the fuck out of here. It was hilarious.
But the thing is this, like, he is doing a great job for like the legitimacy of these Tucker Carlson, the Alex Jones type. Because
super conspiracy.
Because they every time they said something, they've been right. So now it looks like the other things have legitimacy. The fact thing about Biden leading the race, even though that was like being talked about in circles, legitimate circles for a minute before it came out.
Because he was literally about to die on the campaign. He was about to drop the fuck dead.
So you can't say that.
Like, that nigga is old as a motherfucker, and he got COVID. Like, the Lord is trying to call him home.
Or they just made all that up just so they can get him out.
No. You can tell by looking at him that he is not going to be with us for that much longer.
That's 8.
That nigga is old as fuck.
Hey.
He is almost translucent.
Hunter Biden going to put that good pink cocaine in him, and he going to be back in the game.
Oh my God. There was a girl that like killed 2 people in Miami because she was off pink cocaine, but let's continue.
But no, the thing about the Trump situation, this second one, like I said, it feels like they try to remind people that it happened. And so now it doesn't feel like it's getting the coverage that it's going to need to get.
No, I didn't see anything about this. My husband is the one that told me that there was another assassination attempt, and I was like, really? Oh, okay. I didn't even Google it.
I don't want to see anything bad happen to the man, especially like that. Just because, like, I mean, he got kids, man. Barron, come on, Barron just started college.
He be all right. He probably end up being a better person, not being raised by his father.
Or he might be the worst.
Only his father's money.
Or he might be worse because he can sit there and idealize his dad and then try to be just exactly like him or worse.
Maybe.
Maybe it's for the best that we don't wish death on anyone, especially a former president.